How you doing today? Welcome back to MBP Fishing. Thank you for coming in, my friends. All right, let me check, make sure our camera angles are good here. I could have that pushed just a little bit more. Looks okay. All right. Welcome back to MBP Fishing, my friends. Thank you for coming in. You guys enjoy the show today. If we're just getting started, folks. And as you guys can see, man, did this river drop. I mean, it literally was up to yeah, we dropped about 4 feet in the past 24 hours down here. Before that, another 4 feet. It must be holding that water upriver. And welcome back in, folks. Welcome back to our channel. Yes, this is our channel, folks. You guys enjoy the show today. Temperature's about, what do you think? About 70 degrees. Down here in this little cubby hole spot, there isn't nary a gust of wind. Kind of some storms around. I don't know about that, but we'll see about that as the day goes on. Got our standard, 80, 90 worms here. Hopefully we've got enough to last. I haven't checked them in a day or so. You never know when like 20 of the friggin' things got out on you, so you never know about that. Wouldn't be the first time I've gone out fishing and came out there and like, I know I had bait in that bucket. Where'd it go? Yeah, different, yeah, oh yeah, as you guys can see, yep, our bridge view. We got our bridge view back. Keep your fingers crossed, folks. It stays down for a while. But man, I am so tired of fishing flooded trees down here in this river. All right, we've got 3 rods. We're gonna get these guys out here and I'll come check that chat, okay? Yeah, that one gets some distance on them because that's our bait caster. That's our heaviest line. That's I think I've still got 10-pound test on that. I'm not sure, but these other rods have 6 and 8 on them, so they're going to be closer to the bank here. We're gonna see if we can catch some fish for you guys today. Want some fish catches? Okay, I'll see if I can catch some.
I got bags.
Okay. I know you wanted some the other day. I haven't been out since. Man, I've been fishing the lakes, catching, bass and bluegill and crappie and other things.
How big are the crappie?
7, 8 inches. They're not big guys. They got growing to do. They're the smaller males. They haven't quite gotten up to standards. Now the bluegill are actually just as big as the crappie down in Fairgrounds in O'Fallon. I mean, get 7, 8 inch bluegill down there consistently. I'm gonna put one nightcrawler on this one, and we will. Yeah, that middle rod needs to be refreshed. Evidently, she drifted on us. Yeah. Changing currents down here, guys. You know that just takes you a bit of time to get this stuff situated and right angle and holding in the right location. I haven't fished this in a while, and every time you come down here, it's going to change a little bit. Yeah, we've got a massive change. Fairgrounds and O'Fallon. I mean, just cane pole with a worm right by the bank with a bobber, you're going to catch some of those big hand-sized bluegill. Yeah, they're, but they stock them in there, those big long ears, like bigger than your hand.
Big red ears?
Yeah, the ones you can hold by the mouth easily with no problem. Yeah, they do that once a year down at in Fairgrounds in O'Fallon Park. A lot of them don't get caught. I mean, seriously. I mean, they stock 4 of them in there, and people come down there, catch 20 of them real easily, and they get a little harder to catch, and people just stop fishing for them. Every once in a while, I think I kept like 3 or 4 of them. I have been cooking a lot of fish right now, you know, and that moving stuff, you know, it's got me pretty busy. All right, that looks okay. We're gonna put this out right down here by the bank. All right, I think that will do for now. Look at that. That line just immediately drifted down, man. Should have put a better weight on that. That was, oh, that was me. Never mind. That was me. Never mind. We are getting a little bit of wind. Let me put a wind block on you guys, just to make sure. Never fails, folks. I get down to a spot, there ain't a breath of wind, and I turn that stream on. Yes, it's gonna blow like a sucker fish. Let's see, how you doing today, my friends? Let's see, we've got people in chat to say hello. Let's see, Wild, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Wild says, let's go. Let's see, and Danny, what's going on? How you doing? No, that's Hannah. How you doing, Hannah? Hannah says, hi, everyone. Let's see, and John C, what's going on? How you doing, John C? John C says, hey, Mike. Let's see, Scooter, what's going on? How you doing, Scooter? Scooter says, Mike. Scooter says, hello, chat. And see, a Monster's in the house. What's going on, Monster? Monster says hi. Care Bear, how you doing, Care Bear? Appreciate you guys dropping by today. Let me get this wind block on so you guys don't get in the friggin' background. Hope you guys are getting a good signal quality. I can see those rods pretty good from here. I like to have that rod tips just a little bit further to the left, but if I do, I'm going to cut my back off. So, she's okay. She's okay. Let's see, Cindy, what's going on? How you doing, Cindy? Cindy B says, hi, Mike. Let's see, Hannah says, hi, everyone. Let's see, Cindy says, Care Bear. Let's see, Cindy says, hi, Hannah. Let's see, Moonlight, what's going on? How you doing, Moonlight? Moonlight says hi. Appreciate you guys coming in. 14 people and 9 thumbs up. That's just incredible, my friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, we're just getting started here. I'm getting all the camera and everything view real good for you guys. Seems to be pretty straight and everything. All right. Looking good. Hope you guys enjoy the show today. Let's see how these little stinkers are holding. Apparently, yeah, I can't fish over there, folks. It's just, we dropped about 4 feet in the past couple of hours, in the past 24 hours, in fact. And all this stuff is just solid yuck mud. It's, oh my God, I'm up to my knees mud. It's, yeah, it's bad stuff, folks. It's the kind of stuff that you do not want to mess with. Unless you want to lose, like, your friggin' shoes. Because there's a suction when you get into this stuff down here. You can get out of it, but you're going to wind up losing your shoes in the process. The only reason why you can get out of that stuff down here is because there's rocks underneath it. In a lot of spots, you can't even do that. We've got Carolina rigs on all 3 rods. We've got a 1/16 ounce weight on here, a 1/8 ounce, and a 3/8 ounce. And we're holding in all 3 separate locations right now. You get a little bit more soil in the water. I don't want to throw too many worms in to get these guys to start feeding, but I want to give them something. I didn't have time to go by and get any corn because I honestly, part of me didn't believe the number, because there's a number you can call for the river stage down here. And part of me didn't believe that it had dropped, 8 feet in the past like 36 hours. Saw that. Yeah, something nipped on it. That's why I went kicking. Very light tech bite. I'm not sure what that was. That one's holding about like that. That one's holding about like that, and that one's down that way. I know I kind of got this mixed up. I should be using my ultralight with my lighter weight as a pop. Did you guys see that? Wonder what the heck that was. That's a good pop. You don't get that stuff out of nowhere. That got to be something taking a nip at it. Where is that one holding? Yeah, that one's holding like that. That one's holding that way, and that one's holding that way. So kind of in multiple locations out here, like spread out for shallow, mid-range, and deeper. Sheesh. I heard it. Man, that was freaking big wherever it was. Did you hear that? I think it was out there by that point. It was pretty far down there. And we do have more shoreline. If this spot doesn't pan out, I can move further down to this cove. I don't know yet. We're just figuring this out. Got bites on these two rods, not on the close one. I mean that kind of makes sense. The water's dropping so quickly. Gotta kind of keep those fish spooked. I want to see what that one did. And we are snagged up. Crap. Yeah, that feels weird too. I'm not sure why that got snagged like that. Our first 2 or 3 casts we didn't get snagged. Now all of a sudden we get snagged. Yeah, I don't think that's coming off there. It's great. Looks like I might be casting a jig head here because I don't want to lose all my weights down here. That's a simple rig. I mean, it's just a bullet weight with a. But I don't think that's coming off. Oh, he did. Okay. What'd I do? What'd I lose the hook and the weight? What'd I do? Oh, we didn't lose anything. Might have just been a rock. And hook bent out just ever so slightly. Whatever that was, we bent the hook out a little bit. Everything still feels good, so tell you what, let me get this back out here and I'll come check that cat, okay folks? That was a snag right there, so I've got to either go past that or I'm not sure. Should probably either past that or I don't want to miss that spot too. There is a big tree that's out here, but it's been covered with sand. That high water might have like uncovered it. That's a definite possibility. So yeah, that tree would be right about there. In front of her, you're okay, and behind her, you're okay. It's just this one spot like here. It's kind of pretty difficult to fish to. My other rod will be fine, as long as I keep her to the right. I'm going to put the knife roller on here. I don't want to put a whole one on again. I want to put a whole one on. Save that piece for another bite. That's pretty good. That's a nice little chunk of one. So that tree is from there to there. So I got to either cast past her or cast further down to the left. Hop. Saw that. I'm probably going to have to cast past her. Or, honestly, I might dead raw. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to remember exactly where everything is for the shoreline here. Alright, so that should be past. To tell you the truth, I could just cast in closer. Why don't I do that? Duh. That tree doesn't go all the way out there. Let me just put her right at the edge. That should be before that tree. That's settled good. We're looking good again, folks. We're looking good. All right, come check that chat. See what's going on. Yeah, we got snagged. I think that tree's been uncovered by the higher waters. I was casting over the top of it before the flood water was in, so apparently that's done that. Let's see, Hannah says hi, Cindy. Let's see, Danny, what's going on? How you doing, Danny? Appreciate you coming by, my friend. Let's see, Cindy says hi, Danny. Danny says hi, all. Let's see, Danny says hi, Cindy. Danny says good luck today, MVP. And hi, and Cindy and Danny and Care Bear. Let's see, bad boy Melvin is in the house. What's going on, bad boy Melvin? See, Melvin says, yep. Good luck today. Hi, Cindy, and hi, Danny. Let's see, Danny says hi, Melvin. Let's see, and Release to the Grease. What's going on? How you doing, Release to the Grease? Release says, hey, what's up, Mike? What's up, chat? We're just getting started. It's a late run. Yeah, it's been pretty hectic with the move and everything, so getting out when I can. Let's see, Jenny says hi, Release. Let's see, and Bass Fishing, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Bass Fishing says MVP. Yeah, we were down on the fairgrounds. You missed it. Our last live feed, we were catching some nice bass with topwaters. Let's see, and Rude, what's going on? How you doing, Rude? Rude says MVP. Let's see, Bass Fishing says Danny. Let's see, Danny says hi, Hannah. Let's see, Spawn, what's going on? How you doing, Spawn? Spawn says hi, everyone. Hello from Hungary. Awesome, my friend. We're down in St. Louis, Missouri, the big old mighty muddy Mississippi River. Let's see, Hannah says hi, Dana. Let's see, Danny says hello, Varga. Let's see, Danny, yep. Thank you for pinning that up. By the way, PayPal and Cash App linked in my description on my main channel. If you guys want to donate, if you do, if you don't, it's an optional thing. Help support the channel. Yep, all that stuff, all our fishing gear, all like coffee, all that stuff, it comes from donations like you. Let's see, Spawn says hi, Danny. Let's see, 11 people in and seeing 17 thumbs up. It's just incredible, my friends. All right, we're back. Get back to fishing. And that might be our first train, folks. I know my camera angle is right here, so when I hook a fish, I gotta stand forward. I'm not minding too much about my back being off the feed right now. This is kind of a crazy angle. We're on I've got you guys situated on the uncomfortable rocks over there. Of course, you guys get to sit home on your couch. I don't. I gotta sit down on hard dang on rock. I mean, yeah, this stuff's it's hard. Check it out, folks. Watch this. Flat. Flat. Yeah, you ain't standing there. I could spend an hour or two building a rock face right by the bank, but man, that's worth and a half. That's a good little gobble one. I should have brought a can of corn, folks. A lot of times these fish, they get stingy unless you put on like a can of, a couple pretty good handfuls of corn out here. I've already gotten a few bites that's showing there's some fish out here. Just gonna let that in dangle. Give them fish a little bit of extra nubby nubs. Think about it. I'm sure they're over there. I mean, I could go over there and stand in the mud, but I ain't bringing my camera over there. They're always over there by that point. You can't fish it until that stuff dries out. She's dropping so fast that she's not going to get a chance to dry out. Now, mind you, once this stuff dries out, we'll have a muddier bank below it, and we'll still be able to put the camera up. This stuff is like everywhere. It's like, I walked down there and slid and about broke my foot. Not the best place to be fishing. That time I missed it, so hopefully we've got a good angle now. Keep your eye on that background down to the right. There's been some amazing carp doing backflips down there. That's holding okay. Just a little gunk on it. Not much to speak of as far as that crap. Probably washed all that stuff away in the higher water. Well, just get off the ant. That ant was as big as my fingertip. This thing was huge. Pretty good. Exception, that one's still, this one's fine, right? This one is like not holding right. It's drifting down and going around that dang tree again. Yeah, we're gonna have to put a jig head on out there to see if we can get that snag. And I just pulled it right into it this time. I don't hold off again. Pull off again. That's not good for your hook, folks. I'm bending my hook out pretty good. That's staying on there at least. That's one good thing. Probably gonna wind up doing is I'm probably gonna wind up this spot, like pushing this one a little bit further to the right so that I can put this one in the middle. Alright, that actually sounds like that might work. We're going to push this one over to the right more and put this one in the middle. That way I'm not over there in this one freaking spot and get a snag. And that might work. I'm actually just about in the spot that I would be fishing if I was fishing down there. The only difference is I just threw about half the line off my spool. Well, getting in over about 20, 30 pounds on post, because I'll never stop in time. Not that lighter stuff. The benefit of doing that is that gets to settle before she gets to the tree. Settle. And the good thing about that is that now I've got a snag on this one now too. That's got to be a rock. Hang on, folks. Let me walk down here and get this off. Yeah, it's got to be a rock right by the bank like that. It wasn't a rock. If it wasn't going to come off. It snapped. All right, I got to re-rig this. Guess I'll put a jig head on this one. This will be my closer rod today. That way I can work around those rocks without having to worry about snagging for 5 seconds. Trying to find a good size. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Not too big, not too small. You guys know the jig head crawler technique works pretty good down here. Basically, a jig head crawler technique is just a whatever size jig head you need to hold size plus a goblet of night crawler cast on that. It's gonna let that rip around and bounce around like rocks and rip rap, brush and stuff. And you want just heavy enough line to where that you can bend that hook out the way you don't lose that hook. You can get it back 2 or 3 times before you have to put a new one on. After 3 or 4 times, the strength of that jig head drops drastically. Make sure when you're done with that and you put that in your box, make sure you kind of put that in a location that you know that's been bent out. The last thing you want to do is put that on there and you're fishing like massive fish and you don't realize it's been bent out at 3 point time. I forgot about this little technique. And I forget about this all the time. It's one of my favorite, most effective techniques for fishing areas I haven't fished in a while. Drastically changing conditions. This is very, very effective in so many locales. All right, I think that will do. Yeah, that's just a little job of making these little red ones. Gonna snake around out there, bounce around. Look at the snake. Where do I put this? There it is. I don't know. Ah, crap. I don't want that out of the way, but at the same time, I need it in a location that I can see. Hop, hop, come on. Come on, you keep pecking on it. Come on. It's kind of slow. I'm figuring it out. Just get these rods to settle right is get tricky sometimes. That looks pretty good. I can't believe that little thing went and moved over that much off of that spot. All right. I think this is a good settling location. Let me grab my soda. I'll talk to you guys for a bit. We're going to let these guys soak for a while. Yeah, that's good spots there. I like those. I like the cast. We've had a couple bites, but I know with this water dropping so quickly, you never know. Could be spooking them out of the water. Mountain Dew, do the do. Do, 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 do. Do, do. Who got short of breath there? See 11 people in. Let's see, and 24 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Hope you guys enjoying the show today. Let's see, Spawn says hi, Danny. Let's see, Danny said, yep, hit that like and subscribe and share. Yep, helps out the channel so much. You got it right, Danny. Let's see, Danny says hi. Let's see, and Terry, what's going on? How you doing, Terry? Terry says, Mr. B. Let's see, Danny says hi, Terry. Terry says, Mr. Gary, man. Let's see, Danny with the salute. Let's see, Johnny Lamb, what's going on? How you doing, Johnny Lamb? Johnny Lamb says MVP. Let's see, Danny says, there are. Let's see, Miss Gigi, what's going on? How you doing, Miss Gigi? Miss Gigi says, Mike in chat. Let's see, Danny says hi, Miss Gigi. Let's see, Miss Gigi says hi, Danny. Let's see, Honey, what's going on? How you doing, Honey? Honey says hi. Let's see, and Green River, what's going on? How you doing? Green River says howdy. Let's see, Danny says hi, cutie. Oh, you talking to me? I thought he was talking to me for a minute. Like, what the heck is... Oh, you're talking to Miss Gigi. Never mind. Yep, we're down by Merchant's Bridge. That's the far bridge down there. The one you see. You got it right. Let's see, John P, what's going on? How you doing, John P? John P says, Danny. Let's see, John P says MVP. Let's see, Green says, what are you fishing for? With worms, sky's the limit. Common species down here are freshwater, drum, channel catfish, flathead, blue cat, common carp, grass carp, sturgeon, occasional striper. We get a lot of different species down here. I wouldn't mind catching some big drum, but I sure would like a blue cat, or a nice channel catfish would be nice. A big old flatty, that would be awesome. Well, I missed a lot in chat here. Let's see, Denny says, hi, Slayer. Let's see, Denny says, hi, John P. John P says, Miss Giggy, hugs and sir. Let's see, Honey says, Miss Plant. Let's see, Miss Giggy says, honey and green. Let's see, John P says, G-Love, Ceasis. Ceasis. Let's see, Miss Giggy says, John P. Let's see, Green says, sweet any luck. We just got started about 20 minutes ago. Took us a couple minutes to get the rods in, get this situated. The current's a little odd today. She's going back and forth. I had to figure out the right angles. I want to fish closer to like that sand spot down there on the right, but that's not sand. There's mud underneath it, so it's got to dry a little bit more before you can walk down here. We went down here, down about 4 feet recently. So in 24 hours, this water has dropped 4 friggin' feet. So at the same time, it's opened up shoreline, but it's also like the best places to fish are solid mud. You can't fish them. You can't put the tripod up. You can break your neck because underneath that mud, there's rocks. So you step down and you go up to, say, your ankles in mud, hit the rocks, and you slide. Give it about 24 hours, maybe 48, if depending upon how much sun and stuff we get. She'll dry out pretty quick down here. So we're down here on the rocks trying to bomb cast to where I actually want to fish, which is down to the right. Let's see, Green says, sweet any luck. Let's see, John P says, Terry to the brother. LOL, brother. Big hugs. Let's see, Whisker, what's going on? How you doing, Whiskers? Whiskers says, hello, Mike. Hope all is well, my friend. I'm doing okay. I'm down here on the river. I mean, that's nice. Get kind of, tired of fishing the the lakes, having to watch every 5 seconds to see if someone's not running over your rods. Let's see, John P says, thanks for the visit, friends. Love it. Let's see, John P says, Whisker. Let's see, Honey says, are you fishing around the mist plant off the Grand Avenue along the river wall? I know where you're talking about. We're about maybe 400 yards upriver from that. So if you go on the other side of this wall, you go down about 4 football fields. Yeah, that's where that is. We're pretty close to that spot, though. I just like fishing this spot because there's not nearly as many snags. And when the water gets lower, this back cove, it becomes really, really good. You get a lot of stripers, buffalo carp, common carp, grass carp. They all just stack into this one, like, cut off of the river. This becomes almost still water back here during the summer. And as long as she stays low, I think as soon as I start, baiting these spots up again with a handful of corn every couple days, you're going to see some dynamite fishing activity and for the summertime. All right, see you, Dave. Drive safe. Mind you, you guys got to understand, this water has dropped within 36 hours. She's dropped 8 feet. Which is astronomical for down here. She usually only drops a foot or 2 a day. Now, for her to drop that much so quickly, gotta kind of be spooking these spots. There's a bite of the close rod. Checking on. Come on, buddy. That was a pretty good pop. Still hitting it, too. Got him, folks. It's on. Whoa, buddy, whoa. It's on, folks. Boy, that's big, whatever she is. Yikes. That's just on the jig head crawler technique. Boy, I was pecking on it so lightly, folks. Boy, I got 2 rods in the way, too. I don't want to... Boy, she's running upriver. Gotta get these other rods out of the way fast. There's one. What we got, folks? A big freshwater drum. Now I can land this, okay. That's a big freshwater drum, folks. Couple pounds. Come here, buddy. Come here. That's a nice first fish, folks. Right inside the jaw. Oh. Right. Come here. Yeah, I think we got him, folks. Yeah, that's 4 or 5 pounds. Oh, dude. It had to flip right when I got him up there, didn't he? I kept him pretty straddled with the line. He didn't hit those rocks. He just kind of glanced them. Dude, man. This one don't want to give up. You're in the water. You're out of the water. Let me show you off to YouTube, and then you can go back home, buddy. Well, that's a gorgeous first fish, folks. That's on that jig head crawler technique. One of the most dynamite techniques I've found for fishing rivers. Beautiful guy, folks. Absolutely wonderful. No skunk on the feed, my friends. Yeah, that'll go about, I'm going to go about 3.5, 4 pounds on that one. Beautiful guy. All right, folks, let me get her in closer for you guys. Well, you guys can see. Yeah, she's as long as my forearm, so that's a big buddy. Gorgeous fish, folks. Gotta love it, my friends. It's good for you guys for a good thumbnail. All right, we're gonna get you one close up for you, and we'll get you back in the water here. Gotta love it, my friends. All right, buddy. Yeah. These guys are the star of the show. I'm just out here. See you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. What the heck was I doing? I thought I had a big grass carp on or something with the way that sucker was running. Well, I'll take those guys any day of the week. Because on that Mike 6-pound test, man, they fight like a... Oh, but they fight. Look at that. Oh. Stuck in the rock, man. I was in pretty close to the bank, so I don't think we really have to worry too much about them being that far out. That was in pretty close. That's why you kind of straddle your rods out until you figure out where the fish are. That wasn't very long I was out there before we got a hit. So that's telling me there's some fish out there. I could be wrong, there could just be one out there, but that's rare. Especially for these spots, it's usually like 20 or 30. Hang on, let me get this rod back out and I'll check that chat, okay folks? You guys are enjoying the show today, my friends. I hope you're having an awesome Friday. I think it's Friday. I'll have to look on my cell phone. I think it's Friday because Modog usually does his live feeds on Thursday. He was on yesterday, but sometimes he does them on Wednesdays. I don't know. I'll look. For bottom feeders like drum, carp, grass carp, this little jig head crawler technique is really, really effective. Buffalo. Just gob a whole bunch of little garden variety redworms on there until you get enough of them to cover that hook. You leave the tag ends of those worms dangling in the back. But you've got like a lot of movement in that bait. Kind of sucks. That was a terrible cast. Out there, man. Like about. Yeah, that's about right. Make sure that settles. Come back and check that chat. I'm so surprised I haven't got anything on this. Oh, fish on there. Oh, there was a fish on there. Oh, never mind. I guess that explains why it hasn't gotten a bite. It's been sitting there with a fish in it. Yeah, they like doing that down here, folks. Believe me, they love doing that. They'll sit there for 20 friggin' minutes with a worm in their mouth. That's why I'll sink these hooks a little bit, because if you don't, you're never going to get the hook into it. Yeah, that fish was just sitting there with it, folks. No wonder that little stinker didn't get a bite. There was a fish on there. I picked it up and I just felt going, Oh. They sneaky down here, folks. They'll sit there for... Did you guys see that rod move? I didn't see it move. I did not see that freaking rod move. Not once. Good again. All right, check that chat. What's going on? Yeah, that was a fish on the other rod. That was the reason why it hadn't gotten a bite in all that time. Freaking thing was sitting there with it. That's another reason why I'll refresh these rods a lot, because a lot of the fish down here just set with your bait and they don't move. Honey says, Merchant Bridge. Yeah, that's Merchant Bridge. Not this one, but it's the next one down there. Let's see, Whisker says, hello, John. Let's see, Honey says, I see. Let's see, Danny says, hi, Whisker. Let's see, Whisker says, hello, Danny. Miss Giggy with the fish emojis. And don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends. 13 people in and seeing 33 thumbs up. That's just incredible. Whisker says, that's a nice fish. Awesome. Appreciate that, Whisker. Whisker says, hello, Miss Giggy. Miss Giggy says, Whisker. Let's see, Les, what's going on? How you doing, Les? Les says, MVP. Let's see, and Frank, what's going on? How you doing, Frank? Frank says, Les, brother, how are you doing today? With the thumbs up. Let's see, Frank says, hello, Mike, brother. Let's see, Frank says, good to hear. Yeah, we're doing good. That's a bite on that close rod again. Something was pecking on it. Hey, any day you can come down here on the river and not get skunked. Especially when, like, I believe 3 days ago it was in the trees behind us. Which reminds me, I got to walk around these shorelines and pick up all my weights I've lost when the water was higher. And all the weights everyone else lost. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. One nice freshwater drum so far, about maybe 3.5, 4 pounds. That one will probably go 4 pounds, but I'll go 3.5. That was actually a nice fish on that other rod. That was, I was about ready to go for the drag on her, and she had it down there. She was just sitting there with it. 13, and all right. Tell you what, let me set my spot and chat here, and I'll get back to the rods.
I saw that. That wasn't me. I don't know where that rod. There he goes again. Come on. What that is? Another drop. He had a bite on that far rod. That's often pretty good. Back. Want to get the bucket up so you guys the 20-pound carp, the 30-pound grass carp, the 6-inch drum. I don't know. Maybe a 20-pound drum. It's impossible to tell with these guys. I've had like 6-inch drums from double my rod before then. And then I'll have a like 10-pound grass carp. 10 minutes later, check on it real light. That is pretty good. I don't know about that. That is odd little shit. It might have been off on the still. Yeah, that's a little deeper in the water. Gotta keep an eye on it. It's very easy to miss a bite. Not on there. No. We can pull by it. Set up, folks. It didn't feel like he had it in his mouth. He was holding on to it. Have found spots now where we're holding and not getting snags. That's always the first down here, trying to find a spot where you don't get snags. Wow, my coach gets it. Still something getting that little peck out there. When I look up, I see that rod goes like that. Very, very light. I'm nibbling on the tip of that. Very light. That way, pretty good. That means that's rip downriver ever so slightly. Stabilize. I see him already. Pretty good. I think we're stabilized. Something nipping on it on that far rod. That might be a buffalo or a carp or something, because he's
very, very lightly nipping on it. Like I'll see the tip of that rod wobble very, very lightly. Yep, any day fishing is a blessed one. You got that right, my friend. I agree 100%. Let's see, Magoo, what's going on? How you doing, Magoo? Magoo says best of luck. Let's see, and Mari, let's see, Mung Mo, how you doing, Mung? Mung says hi. And Pierre Coops, how you doing? Pierre Coops says hello. And the Netherlands flag. See, 11 people in, 40 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys enjoy the show. And let me make sure I got Friday, right? Yeah. Yep, it's Friday. Yep, happy Friday, my friends. I forgot to mention happy Friday. It's the weekend. Tomorrow is the weekend. Oh, Denny says, here, brother. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps out the channel so much. I don't get many shares, folks. Like, subscribe, share us out. Share us out on that that WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook, wherever your social media platform is you like to do. Let's see, Denny says hi, Magoo, and Denny says hi, Frank. And Denny says, Pierre, brother. Sorry. Let's see, 17 incredible people in. Let's see, and 42 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Yeah, we've caught one freshwater drum about 3.5, 4 pounds already today. Come on, big guys. Yeah, I've been getting some nibbling on it on the far rod, and this close rod is the one I got that big freshwater drum on. Let's see, Tink, what's going on? How you doing, Tink? Tink says MVP. Let's see, Les says hi, Tink. Let's see, Denny says hi, Tink. Let's see. Tink says the. Let's see. Tink says Danny. Danny, hi. Danny, hello. What? Tink says hi, Danny. Hi, Danny. Yeah, those waves, so much different than down on the lake. We're back down here on the mighty, muddy Mississippi River, folks. Back in our old little bridge spot. Now the water, she's dropped about 4 feet recently, and about another 4 feet before that the next day. So she's dropped a tremendous amount recently. Oh, far rod.
Not that hard. Pop, pop, real good, real quick. On there. Pretty good pops, though. off guard. Wait. It was still in the 50s. Jumped up quite a bit. It is really. It's pretty humid out here right now. How you doing, technique? One more little freshwater on there. Worms that might have fallen off. Last cat, fresh. Got bait on. I might leave my bucket somewhere, but I don't think so. They aren't they? Yeah, that's all from barge traffic. There's virtually no wind down here. That might be over that rod. I think it is. Yes, it is. I hit that other rod. Now I gotta risk walking down here. Like, come on, but then when I walk in here. I just moved that line. Right. Doubling it. Man, that was. That was a pretty good bite. I just looked up. I don't know why my throat is going. It's all itchy today. Last time I wanted to do that, and didn't do it. This time I sat down here and did that. There's a big, what was that? Right at the surface, whatever that was. Right where my jig head is. heck was that? Whatever that was, his tail was about that wide. Like he was turning down towards something. Whatever that was big. Blue cast now, or both good same tail too. I should have bought a can of corn. I really should have. I can't believe I can't got a much bigger weight on that. Not whole. This one whole fine. That's got a very light ticket on. A lot of smaller ones there. Still providing some stuff. Give something to think about grabbing onto. Now they're holding up there. Man, there was something big right out in front of us. Just come up to the surface. You saw that tail just kind of come up. Kind of glad I put the camera back. That's for sure. Let's see, 22 incredible people in, seeing 48 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see, Miss Giggy says let's see, Bambi says Miss Giggy. Let's see, Frank says hello, Danny. A little bit of mud on that screen, don't I? That stuff off of there. Kind of messing up my view of you guys' chat. He says hi, Danny. Frank says hello, Danny. Let's see, Donnie, what's going on? How you doing, Donnie? Donnie says hi. He says Frank. Let's see, Donnie says rainy, rainy. Rain away. Down south in South Mississippi today. Looks like a washout through the weekend for us. Yeah, it was supposed to rain today, but it seems to have kind of just blown over. Yeah, it was supposed to rain today too. Let's see, Frank says, hey Tink, have you looked on Fishing Lakes Country Baits? Let's see, Danny says hi, Donnie. Let's see, Mahad, what's going on? How you doing, Mahad? Mahad with the fishy emojis. Mahad says hi. Mahad says, I don't want to look. Let's see, David says, how are you doing today, Dave? I'm from the UK. Let's see, Mahad, one more fishy emojis. Danny says hi, Mahad. Let's see, Danny says, let's get a monster mic. Yeah, there's a big one out here. She's been digging right down where both of my rods are setting. So I don't know if she's got a scent and she's just checking it out or what. Let's see, Mahad says, hi, bro, how are you? Let's see, Mahad says hi. Mahad says hi again. Hi, Mahad. See 22 incredible people in, seeing 40.
48 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, I needed that drink of Mountain Dew. My throat is like friggin' itchy today. I don't know what. I got a frog in my throat. Rivet, rivet, rivet. Let's see, Miss Giggy says Mahad. Let's see, Mahad says, very nice. From India. And working in South Arabia. Awesome, my friend. As you know, we're down on St. Louis, Missouri. And we're big on the big old muddy, mighty Mississippi River today. Got train tracks in front of us. That's the Illinois side. Over there, you know, that way. And we're on the Missouri side on this side. Yeah, they don't have any laws per se in the United States to where you can't fish around railroad tracks and stuff like they do in the Netherlands and the UK. Now, you're not supposed to go up there, but you can fish around them. Of course, a lot of people don't listen to that. Oh, yeah, it's a very nice place down here. Get a lot of big fish, very little fishing pressure, quiet, peaceful, very relaxing down here. And just wait till the water gets lower. We get some big sandbars out here. We'll have our own private beaches to play in. You can see the start of the sand right down past where those rocks are. Once you get past this little rock face right here, it's just solid sand. It really is an incredible place to fish. It really is. Got like 10 common species that we catch down here. Now, you guys got to understand, we just dropped 4 feet worth of water in the past 24 hours, so these fish are going to be a little spooky right now. We did catch one big freshwater drum, about 3.5 pounds. We have been getting some bites, because they've been very, very finicky. Seen a few big ones coming to the surface. Obviously, with the water dropping in this river, because they'll drop really fast sometimes. They get a little spooky. They don't want to set in a spot. I keep fishing down there, except, yep, that mud is bad. If you can see that when I hit that rock right in the mud, it sank down about that deep. And I ain't much underhanded, very, very lightly through that rock, like whack. Yeah, that's not stuff you want to play with until it's dried out. That stuff's dangerous. Unless you want to lose your shoes. Now, I might risk it for a big fish. I don't mind losing something like that. It means getting a big old fish. Yeah, those worms are just gone. After being about 15-20 minutes down in this river, you got to put the fresh ones on. Very lightweight hooks, very light gear down here. I like to make it a little more difficult. I know people use 20, 40-pound tests. I actually still have 10-pound tests on the bait caster. That's kind of high for me. I was bass fishing the other day. It's pretty gnarly stuff, and I haven't changed it back to 8. Now these other two still got 8. The middle rod's got 6-pound test on it. Yeah, basically that bite of line you can break with your hand. So you're using the rod to fight those fish in. job. Slap on me a little bit. That's another thing with dropping water. You have constantly changing currents. Like 1 minute the current will be ripping that direction. Next minute it'll be going that direction. Right now, it's still, folks. I mean, it's dead. There's no current either direction. And I should have brought some corn out here, folks. When I come out here, I usually bait up the spot slightly with like a can of corn. Like a couple handfuls. It doesn't really feed the fish. It just brings them in here. And this little Ozark Trails, it costs about $10 at Walmart. It's very small, very light reel, but it works. It's a very good reel. Don't get me wrong, these cheaper reels are very good. Now they might wear out fast, but for the price, $10 that's gonna let you fish for, like, with me, 6 or 8 months. Now most people don't fish, but maybe once a week. I'm out here fishing like 4 or 5 days a week. So fishing on the river, fishing on the lake. I put this gear through heck fire and back. But I had that fluger almost a year now. Of course, that fluger cost $50. That came from donations from you guys, by the way. Thank you, Tommy Stamina. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Malik. And yeah, that's a big common carp. I just saw it. Ooh. That's a big common carp, folks. Do I dare? I know where she is. Yeah, she just showed herself. She come up to the surface, right up, and just whole side, back dorsal fin, and back orange tail. That was about an 8 or 10 pound common carp. That wasn't a massive one. That was a big one. That's a nice common carp. See if I can get him to get now. I need to get some bait out here. I need to get this guy smelling food, digging into this bottom. I want him staying here. He's there. I want him staying here. Normally, I just throw a couple handfuls of corn in and he'd be like, oh, it's dinner time, food. Somebody's giving away free corn. It's a very late start today, folks. I do apologize for that. With the moving that's been going on, all the renovations and everything, hard to get everything hard to get everything ready to go early. That's not that late. I mean, it's like freaking 1:30, 2 o'clock or something like that. But I'm usually feeding around noon, so. And I had to cut the drop, you know, go by Safeway and get a can of corn. I had to drop that off. I said I didn't have time. That's a big common carp right there, folks. And I got some bait in the water here, that's for sure. Probably 30, 40 little red worms scattered up and down here. Continuously refreshing those baits, you get a pretty good line of bait. Now, I know what you're saying, common carp. I don't even catch common carp on worm. Well, these are river carp. I mean, these were born and raised down here. They eat what's here. But I don't care if it's a dead, you know, catfish. I don't care if it's like seedlings coming off a tree. I don't care. I'm gonna eat it. Yeah, these guys are tough down here, folks. Let's see, Les says NJ. NJ, what's going on? How you doing, NJ? Appreciate you coming in, Mark. It says NJ and he's laughing his butt off. Boy, I'm glad you removed it, whatever it was. Oh, boy. Let's see, Denny says. Let's see, Bambi, what's going on? How you doing, Bambi? Bambi says number 52. Let's see, Bambi's laughing her butt off. Let's see, Bambi says, hey, go, y'all. Have a great day. And Jay says, hey, Danny, I know what it was. He ain't gotta put it. I know what it, you stinker. Yeah, revenge is a dish best served cold, and it is friggin' freezing out here. NJ says, hey, Danny. It's the NJ says, I removed it, Danny. It's the NJ smiling. Yeah, I know you smiling. It's coming. It's coming. I have your mailing address. Let's see. NJ said, would rather live in the streets in Cambodia. Let's see, and Danny with a thumbs up. And where'd that rod? Oh, I see it now. Never mind. The heck. I got the rods on a weird angle. I can't see that far, that middle rod.
I really got to start marking a little better. Yeah, there's a big common carp that came up to the surface right here. Now it wasn't a 20. I'd say it's about 8 or 10 pounds. Very nice. I just got to get this little stinker to hit. Yeah, he's changing current again. Our lines are going slack on it, so I got to come over here and tighten them up. So far, we've caught one drum about 3.5, 4 pounds so far. And this water has dropped tremendously over the last. And this was 8 feet higher than this, not more than 36 hours ago. So they've shut the flood the dam gates upriver at West Alton. Yeah, they shut those down. That's the only way this river could drop this quickly. That's a NJ with the devil emoji and the emoji. Let's see, 8 people in. Let's see, and 51 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Yeah, I'm actually so glad to be able to fish the river again. I really am. I mean, I like fishing for crappie, bass, bluegill. But I like to kind of switch it up. One day going to the next, the other day going to the next, and so forth. But getting stuck in 1 or 2 places, that drives me nuts. I mean, this river, when it gets cut off from me, I go a little. Woo. I need my Mississippi River. I do. I need it. We have a jet. Let's see, Frank says, NJ, got the hooks today. Hey, what's going on? Nah, the water's dropping way too fast. Ask Dave, it's dropped 8 feet in the last 36 hours down here. So these fish are they're kind of moving away from these shorelines right now, and they don't want anything to do with eating.
It has. It really has. I mean, I couldn't even walk that shoreline a minute ago, and you can walk it now. All right. See you, Dave. Yeah, I lied. All right. Yeah, he wants me to keep fish, and nope. That's a middle rod.
That's my light here. That would be that one that big carp would hit too. That light stuff. Yeah, this is my 6-pound test, so yeah, there it goes again, kind of pulling on it slightly. What he did to it. Doesn't look like mud. Doesn't look like anything at all. I'm guessing that was a carp, because he didn't bother that worm at all. He pulled on it pretty good there once or twice. And that rod went I've got a little egg weight on, right? I mean, a little bullet weight on this one, because with this moving current going back and forth, we're going to be drifting a lot, bouncing around. So I want something that I'm not going to get like snagged up severely on. I had a couple bites down there, and they kind of quit too. So now look at that. Tell you what, guys, every little worm on this hook is gone. All they left is this big night crawler. Yeah, so they just ate all the easy worms to get off of the hook, and they left the big night crawler. That almost seems like a buffalo. Got some stuff drifting around down here too. That might be from a bar that's hooked up a river or something. I know we got some fish down here. I did not have time to even go by the store and get a can of corn today. I barely got out here. I didn't start to feed till afternoon. You guys know how I'm that's about my time slot, but at the same time, I had to skip a few things. Like I said, I had to skip the drop by to get some chum and other things. Had enough time to go by the gas station, grab a soda, and head on out.
Yeah, that move is affecting my my fishing quite a bit. Let's see, 12 people still in. Incredible, my friends. And let's see, 52 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. That's a bite on the far rod.
Made the line look black. You never know what these little pet bites are. It could be a freaking monster. You never know until you get a hook into them. But now we're ripping back this direction. Remember, the water was pretty much still here a minute ago? Now we're ripping back this direction.
Big head snag. Yeah, one good thing about it though, got it off. That's why you cast a jig head when you're around like super freaking bad structures. We're right on the edge of where it gets bad too. I mean, this is like, this way down, this is bad stuff. Blocks, sticks, a lot of snag braid, and 100-pound monofilament. Glad I got one warm day out here. Here comes another barge. That'll be coming into view in just a minute here from the left. All right, folks. We're back in chat. I almost didn't even have time to go out today. I heard this, we were supposed to have storms, and then I kind of checked up on the weather forecast, and they'd updated it. They said it wasn't going to rain till like 5 in the afternoon, so I almost didn't go out. Very, very close. It would have been the first day that I haven't done a live stream within every other day at least since probably April. And most days I've been doing 4 or 5 in a row. Plus that wind can, we've had like a really windy year this year, folks. It's been exceptionally windy. That wind will tear you up. Yeah, my throat stopped itching there. I had a frog in my throat for a little while there. I was like, couldn't get the, you know, that itch that's down in your, like, right below your, or right around your Adam's apple? Well, nail. It's in that little spot, right? Every time you try to talk, it itches. I think that's finally over with. I live in a city, so folks, so it's oh, I've got that fly on me. Leave me alone, you stupid fly. That's what's been bouncing my arm. It's one of those big old horse flies. I am not a horse, and I'm not a house. So go find a horse or a house somewhere, because I'm not. Whatever. There's a big common carp in there. He's just, I think he's coming in here like, where's the corn, Mike? I'm sorry, I forgot it. See, Danny says, let's see, Danny says, I'm not a bee, but I sting. Yep, Danny the Stinger Manny. Yep, and those stings will swell up. You'll have to, they'll be itching for a week. Believe me, I know I've had a couple stings from Danny.
Oh, joyful things. Joyful stings. Oh. You. I hope I took that correctly, Danny. Joyful? Ow. That could be taken in a number of different ways there. Let's see, Danny, with the laughing and the googly eye emojis and Miss Giggy's laughing her butt off. Yeah, I took it right. I got you. Oh, Danny says, didn't know if you took it. I got it. I didn't want to get it, but I got it. Let's see, Danny says, shame on you, Mike. Well, you dealt it.
I had a peck bite on that. Where'd it go? That bait is almost gone. No? Come on, big guys. I know you're out here. I've got a white chicken right by the bank. I want to fish over here, but it's too muddy. Hopefully within a day or two it will dry out. Then we'll go back up. It's still about 7, 8 feet deep. It's still plenty deep for anything to want to come into. I'm yet to get a bite on this smaller rod of any consequence. A couple of nibbles. Very odd. My lighter one is the one that usually gets a bite. But it is one good thing. It's good to get back down here on the river for a while. Definitely good to get down here for a while. Let's do a jump cast. I've been casting out there further and further, progressively further and further. It's going like super pretty shallow. Same thing with this one. Instead of casting out there real deep, getting further and further away. Let's go in shallow. Man, that's close. Rods seem to be holding okay. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've got an idea of what's going on. They're getting spooked. The water's dropping way too fast for their comfort zone. I mean, there's water right here behind me. Look at this. Yep. That's where the water was a couple hours ago. It still hasn't dried. Yeah, they must have the lock and dam closed upriver. That's the only way this river drops that quickly. Let's see, Denny says, I got you. Let's see, Tam, what's going on? How you doing, Tom? Tom says hi. Miss Giggy says Tom. Awesome, you can drop by today. Yep, don't forget to double tap that screen. See, we got 56 thumbs up, folks. Awesome, my friends. Might have been a bite on that far rod. Something bounced it. Let's see, Jason, what's going on? How you doing, Jason? Jason says, Mike, brother. How you doing today, Jason? Jenny says, Jason, brother. Hey, look, Jason, it dropped 8 feet in the last 36 hours down here. It did. It's a muddy mess, you know, down there past those rods, but the water's out. Let's see, Jason says hi, Miss Giggy. Miss Giggy says hi, Jason. Yeah, it went down a little bit too fast, in fact. It's kind of spooking these fish. I mean, that quick of a drop, it's going to push those fish out deeper. Or, you know, they don't have any time to stop in a location. They're just continuously moving out deeper. Like they stop there for 10 seconds and like, oh, there's some bait. I gotta go. Oh, look at there's some more bait. Oh, gotta go again. Let's see, eight incredible people in and seeing 56 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Tell you what, it might be one of these days where I might shut the stream down and go back behind us and start her back up. Because I know I'm going to lose signal quality and everything. It's going to take me forever to reset the camera. Because this point, it just doesn't seem to be doing much today. Further down, it might be a better shot. With that dropping water, they're probably holding in a location like with a deeper hole where they feel a little bit more comfortable, and that's further down to the left. We'll give it another 15 minutes before I do that, because we got a few hours before dark. And Jason says, gotcha. What have you caught so far? One big drum, about 3.5, 4 pounds. I've had a few more bites, but very, very light bites. I mean, it's like these fish were moving. They took one nip at it, and then they were gone. I even got to be able to set the hook on, except for that one on the jig head, and I think he hooked himself. The jig head crawler technique right by the bank. It's like he was swimming by. Oh, yep, got it. Hooked himself. We got a full battery charge. It's 2:30. Yep. I usually don't do that, folks, but I'm gonna have to find a spot down here to the left where I'm not gonna get stuck in the muck. It's gonna take me probably 25, 30 minutes to set up that camera right for the next spot. When it dries out a little bit, I'll just walk down there, put the camera wherever, and start and put the rods out. But like I said, we'll give it about another 15 minutes.
Make it a 2-hour freeze time. Going down. Our rigs are pretty much exactly what I'm going to be using down there too, but plus I got to move my shooter down there. That's actually the hardest thing to move. Plus, I think I should have brought a can of corn. I didn't bring any corn today, Jason. You know how these guys are. If you start feeding them, they might come in here. I want to fish like right out there. This is like mud. See, it's flat in the ground. Yeah, it's that sewage river bottom mud where you can't walk in it at all. I mean, a blade of grass sinks in the stuff. That's how mucky that stuff is. What's going on here right now? Not out here, at least. This is the shallow point. This is where they like to be because it's where all the food normally is. But dropping water, I don't think they're very comfortable setting here right now. Once he stabilizes, I'm sure they'll come in. But right now, they're not having it. But like this is dropping just a little bit too fast for our comfort zone, Mike. MVP, we're waiting until he stabilizes. I've tried pretty much every depth from here to just about where I've cast all the line off my reels. Few bites I've had have been in very close with probably where smaller fish or as far out as I can cast. This current ripping the way it is, like look at this. He's already pulled me all the way into the bank. I can't even get my other rod out before. And just a second ago, she was moving to the right. If I could just find one angle here where there's active fish. I don't see any here today. One of those days I'm gonna have to look around. I just saw this open spot and I did not realize that it's still dropping. It's literally still dropping on me right now. He dropped another probably inch since I got here. Inch in 2 hours, that's over 1.5 foot a day. What's that? Well, no, that's 2 feet a day.
Yeah, so let's say she drops an inch an hour, 12 hours a day, 12 inches in a foot. That's over 2 feet a day. That's a tremendous drop. Let's see. Bambi says hi. Jason says hello, Hannah. Let's see. Jenny says good to see you, Jason. Let's see. Danny with the we call him the #1 trophy emojis. See, Jason says, Danny brother, how you been? Let's see. Terry says hello again, Mr. MVP. How you doing again, Terry? And thanks for dropping by again. Oh, that's a peck bite on the close rod. Peck, peck. He's pecking on it pretty good. The way I could have done anything with that, I mean. Not much of anything. Now it's going back in the other direction. The lines are going slack. Fortunately for that, one rod over again because it's getting away with this other rod. My white rod away today. Oddly enough, I cannot pull with the light. This is actually a little bigger weight. It's got 6-pound test on it. It could be holding better than the 8-pound with a pretty little jig head, but that jig head's holding. Don't ask me. Acting weird today. I'm still getting bites. Really don't want to move from a spot, especially since I've gotten a bait trail down to the left. But if you're dropping too quickly, even if you got through the water, it might not come to it. Alright, I don't like that knot. I do not like the way that knot is looking. We're close to the bottom. tell you what, I'm still getting bites from this spot. I think I'm starting to figure something out. Here comes our first train, folks. Here comes our first train. What's up? Volume down. We might complete this one spot out. Now that I look down here to the left, it's not low enough to where any sand and stuff is coming out down here. I probably should have set up down there. In fact, we're probably going to do that our next trip. Is set up behind us. Let's see, 5 people still on and 61 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, Terry says, where was I here? Boy, a lot of chat here. Here we are. Mason says, so we should be good shape for the next Saturday for sure. Oh, definitely. By the time then, we should have a nice sandbar out, Jason. Let's see, Terry says, doing okay, buddy. Glad to see you're fishing. Hey, I fish as much as I can. There's no better, more enjoyable and relaxing thing to do with your time. Let's see, Jenny says, doing good, Jason. Leaving the Netherlands tomorrow and heading to Sweden. Let's see, Terry says, my brother lives in Sweden. Mr. Manny. Jenny says, nice, Terry. Terry says, north, right side on the water. See, Danny says, where is Sweden? We're in Sweden. Danny asks. Okay. Terry says he keeps inviting me up there. Let's see, Hurley, what's going on? How you doing, Hurley? Hurley says, MVP, hello. See, Terry says, they ain't Got Coke machines and they sell ammo. Well, they got Coke machines here, honey. Sell ammo. See, Jason says, how far is Sweden from the Netherlands? Barry says, I gotta love Texas. Yeah, I love the bass fishing in Texas, man. There's some awesome friggin' places to fish for bass up there. Let's see. But there are a couple other states too. Let's see, Danny says 1,200 kilometers, Jason. And he says 850 to 900 miles. That's not that far. Let's see, good old boy, what's going on? How you doing, good old boy? Well, boy says, hey, MVP. Let's see, in Gator, what's going on? Gator says, I'm on the bus. How you doing today, Gator? Let's see, Danny says, we're off to bed. Very early morning and a long day ahead of us. All right, thanks, Danny. Thanks for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed the show. And have a great rest of your night, my friend. Don't let the bed bugs bite unless she wants to bite, in which case, let her. Let's see, Danny says, later, Mike, and cheers. All in chat. Let's see, Jason says, all right, brother. Sounds good. Let's see, in Survival, what's going on? How you doing, Survival? Survival says, MVP. How are you today? I'm doing okay. We're down on the river, but it's always a good thing. Got one big drum so far. The river's dropping really fast. I mean, we've dropped 8 feet within the last 36 hours. It's kind of spooking these fish. It's like I get one pretty good bite, and that fish is gone. That's it. Because I think fish do have an instinct to get away from the shorelines when the water's dropping. See, good old boy says, it's crazy up on the bus. Well, when you get a little older, you'll know. You got to get from point A to point B, and that bus is probably the only way you're going to do it. Not fun, but metro transit systems are they're like that in most cities in most states. Now they try their best. I mean, gosh knows they try. Yeah, but they don't have the manpower to keep up with that stuff. And see, Jason's laughing his butt off. Yep. I don't blame you for laughing your butt off on that one. See, good old boy says, have to see my new video. I'll check it out when I get home. Thanks for letting me know. Hunting or fishing video, Jace. Good old boy. I was just a little curious about it. Fishing, I got you. No, I haven't seen it. I've been very busy, good old boy. I have to move, so I've been getting everything, bagged up, and I had like 6 bags of clothes, and I had to get everything situated. I've got 3 cats I've got to move, so I'm moving locations. Now, it's not very far away. It's just up the block, a couple hundred yards, but it's still a move. I mean, moving everything you got from one place to another, it takes you a while. Bass fishing, awesome. My last stream, I was doing topwaters, got, I believe, like 3.5 pound largemouth on a popper on stream. It's in one of my short feeds. And then I got about a half pound, just a little bit further up the block, up the bank. I'll check it out when I get home. Let me make sure to set a reminder. All right. There you go. I set a reminder, that way I know as soon as I bring up YouTube when I get home, that'll pop up. See, Jason says, all right, brother, I'm heading home. All right, drive safe, buddy. See, 4 incredible people still in and 63 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Thank you. Jet plane. Jason says, I still have you, oh, okay. But still, drive safe, buddy. Boy, even with the less bites, because the water's dropping so quickly, it's so much more peaceful down here on the river than the lakes around here. You don't have the guys from the forestry trying to run over your rods and reels, and people driving over the grass and creating gigantic holes, and people casting over your lines, and that's just the last like 3 trips. Yeah, trust me, it's been very hectic down there on the lakes recently.
You're just not getting all that what's going on down here. Right off that ledge, it's been a perfect spot to hit. Not finding anything down there. Just, I don't know what their deal is. They do not want to come into the shallows at all. I'll keep on fishing, Jason, down here in this one spot. Give you something to watch while you're driving home, okay? Like one of these days, I'm just gonna have to let the baits soak for a while. I hate to let them sit there for too long down here. Down there. Let me get the sticker out there deep. Yeah, that's out there about to the limit. It's about 30 yards. Needs more line on the reel from the cast. Okay, Phil. Keep jumping on it. They don't like that stuff. Rain, folks, earbuds out, volume's down. That one stuck up on me. shallow spots back. Bad news is he's going to have to slow down dropping for us to catch much down here. Right now, this water is plummeting too quickly for these fish to be comfortable coming in here. One's out deep. Both rods out deep. That one's out even deeper, and this one's in full shallow. So
We still got one in here shallow. I'm glad to see her drop quite a bit, folks. Let's see, 4 incredible people still in. Let's see, and 65 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. See, Yakin, what's going on? How you doing, Yakin? Yakin says MVP. How are you? I'm doing okay, my friend. We got one like 3.5, 4 pound freshwater drum today. River is dropping a little too fast for these fish. It's just a little bit, it's making them nervous. They really don't want to come in here to the shallows, but that means that we are getting our shorelines back. No more flooding Mississippi. No more running around for an hour and a half to try and find a location to get a rod out. So you got to stabilize a little bit, dry out. These banks got to dry out a little bit. And I think we're going to start catching some big ones down here soon. I've seen some big ones hitting the surface. It's just it's like it's one there, and then like 5 minutes later, he hits 100 yards down the river, and 5 minutes later, he's like way at the very end of my sight range, and then he's gone. Yeah, these fish want to get out of Dodge fast because they do not like, you know, dropping water. It's very uncomfortable for them. And see, Gator says hi, and Gator says sup, everyone. Gator says yak, my brother. Gator says Mike. Hope you guys are enjoying the show, and hope you guys are having a great Friday. Yep, another one. Smack the surface out there. Hope you're doing okay, Gator, and thanks for coming back in. You were probably still in, but just making sure. Yeah, by the way, folks, we do have a plan to turn monetization back on soon. My landlord heard about me not having the proper paperwork and everything to get that fully turned back on again. And we're right in the process of getting that. T. Gator says, well, I'm off to eat. Be safe, Mike. All right, thanks for dropping by, Gator. Hope have a good meal. Don't eat too much, buddy. I'm hoping within the next month to month and a half, we'll have that turned back on. See, Gator says, I'll try not to. That's why he calls himself Gator. It's like like the gators. Yeah, they want to eat and eat and eat until they puke and eat and eat and eat. And he eats anything. So yeah, you got it. All right, buddy. Have a great rest of your day, my friend. Well, it's fun watching some of these trains. I forgot how fun it is watching these guys. Those rods are in pretty good placements too. I can see all 3 rod tips. That's surprising. Usually I get home and I'm like, where's that far rod or where's that close rod? I can't see the rod tip. Doesn't seem like much is hitting, folks. I'm going to give this about another 15 minutes before I shut her down for the evening. Jason's probably, usually only takes him about a half hour to get home, so just want to give him something to watch while he's driving home, or something to listen to, whatever he's listening to. Probably still mess around these shorelines because I ain't got much to do at home. They're making a heck of a ruckus at home, working on that house right now. Oh, close rod.
Checking on pretty good out there. That's real deep. Oh, you little stinker. That's my first bite out there deep. Look good. I just looking. What that was checking like that. I was out there too. I forget the snag. I just cast it right over the top of it that time. So I checked with it. If I'm gonna hit it, I might as well hit it right on top of it. Like right. Without the fruit. Nah. That's pretty good thing bite. I don't know what it was, but it's been nice to find out. Now, that was me hitting that far rod. I was going ding 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 ding. The last, Check, see him? Ding, come on. Thinking about it. Might be on there. Nope. Dropped it. The moment I tried to set that hook. I kid you not, the moment I tried to pick that sucker up and set the hook, you let go. Probably just holding on to the end of the worm. That's why I missed the last one. Probably had on the last one. Guys. So the oil has stayed in this entire piece. Got one, you guys. Get one more.
See, 2 people still in, 67 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Yeah, we just want to get one more on for you guys, for the loyalists who've been in here watching us today. Yeah, besides, it looks like some pretty significant storms coming up the river. They did say it was supposed to rain around 4:30 or 5, and it is, well, it's 3:12. That's a little early, but see back here, guys? See over here to the, see that way? Pretty significant stuff coming down river. I think I'm actually getting better with the rod angles. You can see all 3 rods clear as day. Let's see, 6 people in. Let's see, 67 thumbs up. Awesome, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends. Yeah, we just got about another 5 minutes before I call her a day. It's been pretty slow down here. The water's dropping just a little bit too fast for you guys to be comfortable coming in. I've been getting a few bites here and there, but it's been pretty slow today. Don't want to waste any more of you guys' time. Maybe there's something a little more interesting on feed. I just, another thing, I just thought I'd keep you guys updated too. Make sure you guys knew that the river was dropping. And oh, middle rod.
Pretty good pop. Yeah, see them? They take one whack at it. They're traveling. They just don't seem to want to stay in locations to hit. Snags. That ripped me all the way down into the bank down here too. Pop on that middle rod though.
Pretty hard twice there. Pick, pick, pick. Just... They're being finicky. Let's see, Jason says, all right, brother, I made it home. Thanks for keeping live. All right, my friend, I'm glad you glad the drive was okay. Yeah, we just got about 3 more minutes, Jason. I'm gonna shut her down at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Not much hitting today. Yeah, it's been a little slow it's been exceptionally slow, in fact. There's a small fish that hit the surface right there. That's the first fish activity I've seen in quite a while. So we're just gonna give her another 3 minutes. Make her 2 hours and 30 minutes. Hope you enjoyed the show today, Jason. Plus, we've also got some storms coming. Looks like upriver. We're gonna. I know they didn't say it's supposed to start storming till around 4 or so, but I mean around 5 or 4:30, 5, whatever, around that time. But that looks like she's coming in fast, a little faster than they anticipated. See, Northern, what's going on? How you doing, Northern? Northern says hello, Mike. How you doing today, buddy? We're doing okay. The river's dropped quite a bit. Been back too much. We've dropped about 8 feet within the past 36 hours, so that's a tremendous drop for this river. Caught one freshwater drum, about 3.5, 4 pounds. I've had a number of other bites today, but they're just like peck peck, and that's it. They're done. Yeah, they're very spooky. That lowering and raising water, lowering especially. That super fast drops can spook the heck out of them. I mean, you can't even walk down there. It looks like I should be set up past these rocks down here, but that's river bottom mud. You ain't standing there. Not without sinking down to the rock face underneath. Let's see, definitely. All right, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, I think we're going to call her, folks. 2 hours and 30 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Got one nice freshwater drum for you guys and updated you on how the river's doing. Yeah, she's dropped quite a bit. Still on the way down. Hopefully she'll stabilize a little bit. We can catch some fish. Jason says, be careful. Going home, brother. All right, thank you, Jason. I'll drive safe, buddy. Yeah. One nice freshwater drum. I hope you guys enjoy the show. I'm just going to have my old good luck. Stay safe. Hope to see you on the water, my friends. Keep doing what you love. Keep them lines tight. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. And if I don't see you again, have an awesome weekend. Appreciate it. Thank you.